The Chicago Bulls find themselves 5-7 on this season. And in the last 4 games, one guy with some cornrows named Patrick Williams been playing decently. But with his recent play, is this for real or is this still a fluke on Patrick Williams? And then the Chicago Bulls match up and face off against the Cleveland Cavaliers again tonight. Y'all know we going to talk about it all, break it all down. But you got to hear the music first.
Cognac gang.
Shy Boys Podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I'm holding it down on today's daily episode. If you're tuned in for the first time, welcome to the channel. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. And to our family members, welcome back. It's another day, another time to be a Chicago Bulls fan. But let's get right into it. Now, the Chicago Bulls right now, they currently sit at 5-7. Can you guys believe that there are only 3 teams in the Eastern Conference with an above 500 record? It's crazy. If the playoffs started today, the Bulls will be 6th. They will be secured and not in the play-in, but that ain't we still got a long ways to go here. Still about 70 games for the Chicago Bulls to play. So yeah, we look like we're in a decent spot now. Let's talk about this in a few months from now to see what the Chicago Bulls are doing. But I do want to bring some attention and ask the question about Patrick Williams. With his recent play, is it real or is it just simply a fluke again? Because we've been down this road with Patrick Williams. Patrick Williams is starting to feel himself. P. Will, stop being passive. Be aggressive. P. Will, don't turn into P. Won't. Y'all already know we done came out with a number of these phrases, a number of these different talking points about Patrick Williams, just simply because whether it was due to injury, you know what I'm saying, him being in and out, missing significant time, or it was just all on him while he was on the basketball court, not being aggressive, not having Billy Donovan call plays for him, not him just saying, I'm going to be a star in my role and go out there and do absolutely everything I can to be a consistent basketball player for the Chicago Bulls and be a productive piece that the Chicago Bulls need so we can continue to move forward. Once Patrick Williams in the past usually was able to reel us in, the quicker he reeled us in, the faster he casted us off into the ocean. And that's where we sit at with him today. And I do look at these last 4 games and say, man, P. Will is starting to come through. P. Will is seeming like he's starting to figure it out. But we still have to tread lightly when it comes to that because my man's, he has dealt with some injuries. This is a basketball league. This is a physical league. Hey, don't come in here questioning where it's physical as the 90s. We know it's not. Don't come in here talking crazy. But nonetheless, we know that this is basketball and injuries happen all the time. We can look around the league right now and see a number of NBA players just simply not being physically able to play. And Patrick Williams is on that list of guys who have missed significant time from basketball within the last few seasons. But in the last 4 games, Patrick Williams, he's trying to grab some attention. I'll be real with you. I don't know how real or how much belief I have in this, but I will talk about it because I think it's starting to grab some type of attention. In the last 4 games, Patrick Williams is averaging 13.6 rebounds, 2 assists on 45% shooting from the field and 42% shooting from the 3. Now, when you hear those and you talk about it's just a small sample size of 4 games, do we suddenly forget about Patrick Williams' past? Absolutely not. P. Will, that's not how it works around here, especially for me. When it comes to P. Will, I need more than 4 games for me to decide if it's a fluke or if it's for real. I will say I've seen a number of good signs. I've seen things that Patrick Williams hasn't been doing in previous years. This season, the aggressiveness, at least for the last few games, have been there. It's been there. The aggressiveness has been there. We like, damn, is Patrick Williams driving to the basket again? Damn, Patrick Williams in transition and not losing the basketball and he's attacking the cup. And we seeing him doing different things when the Bulls are operating within their half-court offense. We seen Patrick Williams be a guy that started to cut and attack the basket. We seeing that the shooting ability is there. We already know the defense is there, but we mostly question things that happen on the offensive side for Patrick Williams. And I will say, just a few games ago, my man's had his highest attempt total of the season of 13. Will we see many more attempts over 13? We shall see. We shall see. I don't think P. Will is going to be a guy that accumulates a lot of shot attempts, but if he could just take it within the floor of the game, I don't see why he can't be at a minimum 10 shots a game, and definitely can work his way up on improving himself for that. Now, we do have to remember that P. Will has a tall task just about every single night. My guy is the best defender on the Chicago Bulls, and he has been tasked to guard some of the best out there. My man's been matched up against Karl-Anthony Towns when Vooch wasn't out there guarding him. My guy went out there and went toe-to-toe with Giannis Antetokounmpo. We didn't see him against Triple J with the Memphis Grizzlies. We didn't see him go against the Minnesota Timberwolves and Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert. And it's gonna take a lot from him. It's no excuses though for Patrick Williams. Let's be clear with that. We understand your job is probably one of the more tougher jobs that the Chicago Bulls have on the defensive side. And we ain't really relying on you to go ahead and provide that crazy scoring output that we need. But what we do need is for you to be consistently good for the Chicago Bulls. Now, games here and there happen. I ain't going to act like every player doesn't have a bad game. Even the greatest of them have bad games. We've seen LeBron have bad games. Mike, you know what I'm saying? Kobe had bad games. Shaq had bad games. So we ain't not going to mention that P. Will close to those guys' name, but we can't expect him to have some type of game to where you like, P. Will, this just ain't your night, bro. But for the most part, if P. Will can start to establish himself for some consistency, we are starting to be believers again. Because I'll be real with you, not a believer right now. Do I like what I'm seeing? Yes, I ain't no hater. I ain't no fool. I know what I'm watching. The guy has looked great for the last, you know what I'm saying? Solid for the last few games. But P. Will, it's going to take more than 4 games for everybody to come around. It's going to take more than 4 games for people to believe that you is worth the money. You know what I'm saying? So he got to go out there and do that. And I will ask y'all this question. Will this be viewed, these numbers, would this be viewed as being good enough to kind of not look at certain trade packages for the Chicago Bulls? Now you say, Bobby, what do you mean by that? What I mean by that is, let's look at one trade that was posted out there a few days ago when we talk about the Bulls getting in business with the Orlando Magic again. Me personally, I already told y'all, the YouTube GM that I am, I'm not getting in business with the Orlando Magic again to potentially make them better again. Nah, the pettiness in me just won't allow me to do business with them. But let's look at the trade. It was a trade for Zach LaVine and Torrey Craig to go to Orlando, and the Chicago Bulls will get Jonathan Isaac, Tristan Da Silva, Cole Anthony in a pick. Now we know what the pick is. We won't talk about the pick, but let's talk about the players. If you are believing in Patrick Williams, do the Chicago Bulls say, nah, we don't really need a Jonathan Isaac on this team. We don't really need a forward like Tristan Da Silva on this team. Is that a conversation to be had? Has P. Will done enough to fight away the Wolves? No, not yet. Not yet. I understand you gave this man $90 million. And it was probably a bargain depending on where you believe he can be within the next few years. But as of right now, I can't go off 4 games. That's why I've been preaching patience with this, because I think that the Chicago Bulls should be taking their time with trying to trade anybody off this squad. I feel like the Bulls kind of rushed into the Alex Caruso trade, but the trade is what it is what it is. The trade is what the trade is. And when you talk about P. Will and anybody else, and if he's able to fight off the Wolves, you gotta take a little bit more time with this. Because I look at a player that's on his squad. I look at Ayo Dosunmu if you look at the stats from last year and this year, rough starts to season. Well, I wouldn't even say rough starts, not so great start, 2 seasons. And then as the season goes on, the evidence is there. He's better. Ayo Sumos gets better as the season goes on. Are the Chicago Bulls forward thinking like that? Are they expecting P. Will to suddenly improve every single week, every single month for the Chicago Bulls? It's a tall task. It's a risky idea. Me personally, I don't think he fought off the hounds enough. So right now, if you're still looking to make a deal, you got to make the deal and say, hey, we know we got Patrick Williams, but yeah. You know what I mean? So it's one of those tricky ones for Patrick Williams. It's a lot more work that needs to be done. I will give him a little credit for what he has been done, but it's not that much credit. We need more. You've been around this league for years now. You're not a rookie. You're not a second-year player. Hell, you're not a third-year player anymore. Figure this shit out. That's what it comes down to for Patrick Williams. Consistency. And 4 games is not enough to fight off the hounds or just simply hit your wagon to P. Will, knowing what we know from things in the past and things we've seen this season. Take your time with it. But let me know your thoughts on Patrick Williams down below. Before we get up out of here, we got to talk about tonight's matchup versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Chicago Bulls, the last time they faced up versus the Cavaliers, it ended in a 119-113 loss. That, for the most part, the game was up for the taking until Billy Donovan did Billy Donovan things. You know what I'm saying? Billy Donovan did Billy Donovan things. But in that game, Donovan Mitchell accounted for 36 points for the squad, and everybody else just kind of filled in what they needed to fill in. Darius Garland with 17, Evan Mobley with 15. And then you had other guys like Jerome and Dwayne Wade come in and give something, not much. And then on the Chicago Bulls side, more of a balanced attack. Zach LaVine with 26, P. Will with 13, Vooch with 20, Kobe with 20, Giddey with 18, Ayo Dosunmu with 10. A more balanced attack from the Chicago Bulls side. But they let that game go. That team went on to become 12-0. In the Chicago Bulls, they lost. You know what I'm saying? And now they face this team who's now 13-0 in a matchup in Cleveland. That's going to be a tall task for the Chicago Bulls. It is an NBA Cup game. I don't know how excited people are for that, but it might be a little bit exciting to see that red-ass basketball court from people that love red and seeing red. And we say over here on Chicago Bulls to see red, so I guess you're going to be seeing a lot of red. Oh, wait. Wrong team. I'm tripping. The Chicago Bulls are on the road, but we still should be seeing those new city edition jerseys that the Chicago Bulls are gonna roll out today. It should be an exciting game. I think Kenny Atkinson over there for the Cavs has been doing a hell of a job with his squad, letting guys know what their role is. And you seeing guys like Evan Mobley, who I was like, man, you got to unlock this young fella. He got hella talent. They went up and re-upped on him. And it looks like Kenny Atkinson is finding a role for him, finding a way for him. Evan Mobley has been doing what he's supposed to do. We know the last time the Chicago Bulls faced off against the Cavs, the Bulls was going toe-to-toe with him until Billy Donovan inserted THT, and THT just kind of crapped things away. So, Billy Donovan, are you going to be on your P's and Q's? Because just in the last game that we played versus New York Knicks, we up by 22, and then you let the lead dwindle all the way down, and you still inserted a weird-ass lineup. Kobe White, the only scorer out there with Dalen Terry, Julian Phillips, and a bunch of other guys that can't really create their own shot. Hey, what we doing, big dog? What we doing, big dog? Now, you was fortunate that the Chicago Bulls was able to squeak out that win, but at the same time, Billy Donovan, you got to do your job. You got to do your job. And tonight, these guys are going to be at home. It's going to be a tough matchup. These guys find a way to win. And I think the Chicago Bulls, if you want to snap the win streak, you got to find a way to win. How focused are you coming into this game? Do you look at the last matchup between the two teams and say, hey, we let one go. Now it's time to go get this dub? Or do you come in and say, this is a new game, we're going to see what happens? Hey, I take the former, not the latter. I got to come in here with some type of aggressiveness. The Chicago Bulls got to come in here with some type of fight and be like, hey, we let one down. We ain't letting it go this time. You know what I'm saying? I need my guy Zach LaVine to be on that heater the whole game. I'm not just talking about having a second quarter, having a good first half, the whole game. And I need other guys to go at that field. And P. Will. We going back to the main topic, big dog. P. Will, you're going to be matched up against Evan Mobley for most of this night. What you got, bro? What you got, bro? That's just what it come down to. Like, and I understand, hey, I can't come out here and say P. Will finna go crazy. P. Will has not gave me enough evidence for that. But I say P. Will. Let's see if you accept this challenge, big dog. Let's see if you accept this challenge and you take on the fight. No, it's not an individual battle. You still have to play for the team. But if you do your part and you do it damn well, you help the Chicago Bulls receive an opportunity to try to win this game. Don't let me be pointing at you by the end of this game, P. Will. But I say, hey, the player of this game needs to be Zach LaVine, and that the other, it don't necessarily have to be. But who I'm expecting it to be is to be Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine has been on a heater, been very efficient this season. My goodness, over 50% from the field, over 40% from the three. My guy has been on a heater. Now get them damn free throws up because they ain't looking too good, big dog. But you can work your way back up to some good credence if you get your free throws down together. You might be in the 50, 40, 90 club, but you got a long way to climb for your free throw percentage for this season because it ain't looking too good. I think it's like 70%. Y'all correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. But tonight's going to be an interesting matchup between both teams. Whew. I'm going to go out on a limb. And say the Chicago Bulls losing a close one again. That's what I'm going to go. That's my prediction for tonight's game. Y'all let me know your thoughts and your prediction for tonight's game as well. And before you get up out of here, make sure you subscribe, you hit that notification bell, and turn it on. The live call will be busting tonight. So let us know. Make sure you're there so you can enjoy the game just as much as we do with C-Dub calling the commentary and the play-by-play stuff. Leave your thoughts and everything down below. Now, if you want to be a part of a mailbag episode that's going to take place tomorrow, if we receive submissions, call in, state your name, leave your take on the state of the Chicago Bulls or anything Bulls. 773-242-9219 is the number. But I appreciate y'all. Y'all make sure y'all always see red. And y'all already know I'm going to catch y'all on the next one.
Cognac. Gang.